God hates idolatry. And come on, do you blame him? Like, let's be real. If I'm your God and I gave you your existence, I gave you a new form of life, I created this world for you to live in, I gave you experiences, I created opportunities, and the one thing I ask you for is not to worship anything other than me, that's the least you can do. Like, there are many different types of idolatry, and quite frankly, a lot of people may not even realize that the things that they do in their day to day could be considered idolatry. I myself, being one of them people, was idolizing things that I didn't even know I was idolizing until conviction slowly started to hit me, and God slowly started to reveal to me, like, hey, as your desire increases to want to grow closer to me, to want to have that bond, that connection, there are some things that I need to put in the light that you need to change. Ultimately, it was a very humbling situation where it was like, okay, I got to sit down, reevaluate my life, look at what I need to be doing, what needs to be changed, what I need to stop. Because ultimately, I used to be one of them believers that looked at the Bible, and especially the Old Testament, I was judging the Israelites, okay? And God tells us not to judge, but I was judging them. I'm like, they are so hard-headed. Like, every time God saved them, here they go. They start worshiping false gods. They start creating these idols. And then what? God punishes them, send them in captivity. And then they cry out for God, like, God, save me. And then what do God do? Save them. And then some time passes, and what happens again? It happens again and again and again and again. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, God, why you keep saving them? But then I remember that they were God's chosen people. And the one thing about God is he protects what's his, but he's not going to let you continually disrespect him. He's not going to let you continually sin against him. And he's not going to continue to let you disrespect him by worshiping things that's not him. So ultimately, he's going to put that behind in check, okay, which he did multiple times, but people are hard-headed, so they kept making the same mistakes and the same mistakes over and over and over again. And I'm like, as I'm reading, and I'm like, I just got humbled one night, and I'm like, hold up, this sounds a little too familiar, because I'm sitting here reflecting on my life, on how much I've been hard-headed, and I'm like, oh, I love God, I want to put God first, but then I'm living my life, and I'm putting so much time, effort, and energy into things that's not God. And then it's kind of like I'm throwing God in there, or, oh, 5 minutes, or let me give them 10 minutes. Let me give them a couple verses, a chapter, a couple verses a day. Like, do you know how disrespectful that is? And then for you to physically say out your mouth, oh, I love God, I'm going to spend time with him, I'm going to have the deepest and closest relationship with him, you're perpetrating a fraud. Like, you're no better than the Israelite. And I got humbled. So I'm like, hold on. This made me have to take a seat, take a step back. I had to reevaluate my life. I had to look at all the things that I was doing and choosing in life. I had to cut some things off. And it was pure conviction. It was like God was allowing me to feel how it felt to have someone say they love you, but then do the opposite. Have someone to say, I want to devote my life to you, but then devote their lives to other things that don't mean nothing. So it all coincides with each other. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 14, it says, therefore, my friends, flee from idolatry. God hates idolatry. Why does God hate idolatry? Because essentially you're idolizing things that's not God. The very first commandment is place no other gods before me. God says this so many times throughout the Bible about how he's a very jealous God. And respectfully and understandably, I would be too. I don't want you worshiping no other God or no other thing that's not me, especially when I'm the one that created you and gave you life, gave you existence. So that's a justifiable hatred. Like, agreed. But I also want to talk to you guys about some things that are essentially idolatry that you just may not realize that's idolatry. Now, in a biblical standpoint, there is a verse in the Bible in Colossians, in this chapter 3, verse 5, and it reads, put to death, therefore, whatever belongs to your earthly nature, sexual immorality, impurity, lust, evil desires, and greed, which is idolatry. All of those things is idolatry. And if we think about it, a lot of those things is what we tend to do on our day to day, every single day. There are many different forms of idolatry outside of the biblical terms for idolatry. So outside of you carving images, or you people that like to worship these things, or God says don't worship anything from the heavens, from the earth, below the earth, or under the sea. For me personally, television, video games, those two were the main things that I was idolizing, that God revealed to me that was hurting him or affecting him. It's like, you keep crying to me that, God, I love you. God, I want this deeper connection with you. But you're spending 90% of your time sitting on the couch watching TV. You're spending 5-6 hours on a game, but you haven't picked up your Bible. You sitting here, oh, well, I'll get to it tomorrow. Oh, I'll get to it the next day. Or, oh, I was really busy today, so I'll make time for it the next day. It's like you get so caught up in your day to day that you don't even think, like, did I spend time with God today? Did I submit myself? Did I separate myself from the world and just give some of myself to God? No, God doesn't deserve 5 minutes. God doesn't deserve 2 verses in a chapter. To say that you really want to grow close to him, you really want to love him, you really want to spend that time with him, you have to do the work. Put the work in. Stop spending 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours on miscellaneous things that don't matter, that don't mean nothing. People spend their whole lives working jobs where they're working to the bone. Every second and chance and opportunity they get, work. I understand that people have to pay their bills, people have to live, people have families to provide for. That's understandably. But when you're overly doing it, or it becomes an excessive thing where you don't need to work, but you go in because you're like, oh, I want to make more money. You're idolizing making money. Like, if you be real, when Jesus was on the earth, he told his disciples, take 1 pair of shoes, 1 pair of clothes, and go out and be my disciples. Like, trust and have faith that God will lead the way for you. I feel like so many people were taught that we have to survive, so we have to go out and we have to make so much money, in order to. Money means nothing. And to be honest, money is the root of all evil, which is another understandable thing of why In God We Trust is on the back of the dollar bill. It's on the back of money, period. Because what God are reserving? What money comes with God? The God of greed. If money rules the earth, that's not God, that's Satan. Yes, God tells us to pay our tithes, to give Caesar what's Caesar's and what's God's, but to not overly do it, not overly obsess over things that's not important. This that I have around my neck is a constant reminder, woman of God. There's weight that comes with that title. Everyone loves to give themselves titles, or they want to put on their social media, I'm a woman of God, or I'm a man of God. But are your fruits showing that you're a woman of God? Are your fruits showing that you're a man of God? Do you actively spend more time with God a day than you do in the world? On the back of my necklace is Luke chapter 9, verse 23. And if you don't know, it's Jesus essentially tells us, if you want to be my disciples and follow me, then you must deny yourselves and take up your cross. This is a daily reminder every single day who I do it for. I also wear this, and this is Isaiah. Isaiah was a very important prophet in the Bible. Isaiah prophesied the coming of the Messiah, Jesus Christ. And Isaiah is also the name of my son, which God gave me. And Isaiah also means God saves, which God saved my life by giving me my son. These are 2 reminders every single day that I need to put God first, not idolize anything else in my life. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe.